Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ravenswood City School District Governing Board meeting of May 26th. I will officially open the meeting at 6:30 PM with roll call. Vice President Shabomaheen. Here. Trustee Alexander. Here. Trustee Polito.
Present.
Trustee Bloom.
Here.
I myself am present. We have quorum. Moving on to item number 2, the approval of the agenda. Do we have any questions or comments?
Through the chair, we would like to pull 7H so that we can have the trustees have a conversation and have a presentation, a brief presentation.
Alrighty, so that is item 7H, which is under the consent agenda. Anything else? As I see none, I will entertain a motion for approving of the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Now we will move on to closed session. If there are any members of the public or community who wishes to address any matters that will be discussed in closed session, now is your time. As I see none, we will go into closed session at 6:31 PM. We will resume open session at 7:18 PM. I will report back on the matters that happened during closed session. For item 7A, there was discussion. For item 7A, item 7AA, there was discussion. 3AA, there was discussion. 3AB, there was discussion. Item 3B, there was discussion. Item 3C, there was no discussion. Item 3B, there was discussion. And item 3E, there was discussion. And now, we will take comments. Item number 6 from the floor. If anybody wishes to address the board on any matters that aren't agendized, now is the time. Awesome. We will move on to item number 7, which is our consent agenda. We pulled item 7H. Consideration of filing a waiver with the State Board of Education waiver in relation to retaining ownership of buildings in the event of possible territory transfer request at the flood school site.
All right, so we will have our Chief Business Officer, Will Eager, speak to item 7H.
Evening, trustees. We presented this, we had a public hearing about this topic at the last board meeting. This is asking the board to give direction to staff to pursue filing a waiver with the State Board of Education in relation to the flood school site. As the board knows, and some of the members of the public may, if housing is developed at that site, if future residents of that housing request a transfer to a different school district, this would ensure that if that happened, which the district would oppose, the district would continue to own the building and the underlying.
Do you have any questions or comments from the board? As I see none, I will entertain a motion for item 7H.
The chair will make a motion to approve item 7H.
Thank you.
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Let's move on to back to the consent agenda. If we don't have any other comments, I will entertain a motion for the consent agenda minus item 7H.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda minus item 7H.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item number 9, which is the superintendent's report.
Great. I will provide to the trustees a quick update on the current events here. Starting with leadership and community highlights. This, as of yesterday, actually, all of our schools participated in showcasing the different cultures that our students represent and our families represent. We highlighted our Asian American, Pacific Island and Hawaiian Native families and culture. And we also showcased our visual performing arts in the middle school, specifically technology. And so you can see this here, and we encourage you to go on our social media to the specific school sites to catch the wonderful performances. We had, it was great to have this because it gave a sense of normalcy, considering the context and what we've been dealing with in the last couple of weeks. And we had several family members, close to 200 to 300 at a couple of our sites. So it was great to see the community coming together. Just a reminder too, for the board, that we are hosting a bond tour tomorrow at Bellhaven at 10 a.m. for Measure H and S, showcasing the work that was completed, that was funded by these bonds. And we'll also be highlighting some projects, future projects that we would like to complete to ensure that our classrooms are modernized and ready for today and tomorrow. So the community is welcome to join us for the tour starting at 10 a.m. at Bellhaven School. We're also, we already shared with you that we received the Pivotal Practice Award for having an innovative way of addressing the technology demands during the pandemic. I shouldn't say interesting, it's more innovative. And so the county will also recognize our district as we were one of 4 school districts in the county to receive this award across the state amongst 121 other school districts. And so we will be honored on June 1st at 7 p.m. And this is virtual, so you can also, we'll make sure we share the link with you all so that you can attend if you're available. We also just wanted to highlight under learning and development that our 8th grade students are going to be able to go to Washington, D.C. next Wednesday. They leave and they return on June 6th. This is the first time they've been able to go in a while considering the pandemic. They'll have opportunities like actually doing the tour of the Capitol, which is exciting. And then they'll be able to attend the prestigious museum, the African American Arts Museum as well. Just wanted to give a brief update here in regards to the Universal TK expansion. We'll be able to present a more detailed report later on in June. But as you know, the state has the expectation that LEAs are to provide or require to offer TK to all of our 4-year-olds in 25-26. Ravenswood is going to be prepared to offer TK to all 4-year-olds who are interested starting this coming academic school year. I want to emphasize that our goal is to make sure all 4-year-olds in our community are served. So we're hoping to find children who are not currently in programs. We're not trying to recruit 4-year-olds from preschools. As a matter of fact, all of the preschools that we've been collaborating with who are in the city of East Palo Alto, East Menlo Park, we have a consortium that we're working together and making sure that we provide the needs of our early childhood community. We're also working together as a convener, and Waterman Roy has been supporting us in being able to submit a grant as of yesterday to be able to get funding from the state to be able to support with workforce pipeline development and professional development to ensure that our TK teachers and future preschool teachers meet the requirements beyond 22-23. So there is some exceptions and waivers that can be completed during the time that we're trying to launch this next year, but the following year, 23-24, they would need to have the requirements. There's also the expectation of having teacher assistants be in the classroom as well. And then in terms of health and safety, let me start with the positive. Fun things are still happening. Like today, for example, there was a bunch of joy on campus. Bellhaven had a taste test, trying to figure out which type of apricot do they like, whether or not it's a fresh apricot, a dried apricot, or a canned apricot. I mean, we're just trying to ensure, and I'm really proud of our child nutrition education department, educating our children around just the health, trying to make healthy choices in foods, but also making it fun and interesting. And so school is still running and school is still doing its thing in terms of creating community and educating amongst the violence that we've been seeing across locally here as well as nationally. And we are going to be, but we sent home COVID tests. We got a donation from the county. Some districts have seen some surges, right? And we still are wearing our masks. Other districts are actually starting to reinstate mask wearing. But we did send at-home tests to all of our families. Hopefully reminder to please take their tests before they return, especially if they're experiencing symptoms. And then in response to the violence and tragedy that's happened locally and nationally, I'm just very grateful for the community's resilience, and it's the resiliency of our community that pushes me, and I'm sure all of you as the trustees, to continue to show up every day and be present for our children, and really supportive or very grateful for the support we're receiving from the mental health community, from Children's Health Council, Child Mind Institute, Care Solace. And so we provided that information again today and throughout the last couple of weeks. The East Palo Alto Police Department has made a presence today at our schools as well to ensure that their presence to restore safety. And then our county superintendent, Nancy McGee, is going to host a meeting with the San Mateo County Police Chief as we want to make sure we are prepared for any type of, unfortunately, active violent intruders, right, that might be on our campus. And so today specifically, East Palo Alto Police Department met with the principals at each site, and the principals have already had protocols around lockdown and secure campus. So we reviewed that with the police officers. And then our school sites that are in East Menlo Park also contacted Menlo Park Police Department, and they too did the same.
Just to clarify really quick on that statement, there was an incident, as was highlighted in our press release. So this wasn't a random, test where we just had police officers on school site. Want to clarify that for the community. There was an incident that happened, so we wanted to make sure as a district that we were following protocols to make sure that we cover, that the safety was ensured for our school sites. Just because historically we've had.
Yeah, and I want to clarify through the chair, there was no threat towards any of our schools. But there definitely is a heightened sense of alert and cry for safe, cry to ensure that every school is safe. And so because there was a social media post that was floating around, the police department did attend to one site. And then we did reach out to our chief commander, Chief Liu of East Palo Alto Police Department. And again, we like what our board president has shared, have followed protocol, have protocols in place that follow the big 5 emergency response that the county has also implemented. And we are prepared. Unfortunately.
You're the chair. So students were told that they needed to talk to someone, they had an opportunity to do so on campus, or because I know we work with those organizations. I just want to know how it was communicated or shared out if there was somebody, a student feeling maybe stress or anxiety, which is normal after an incident like this. How was it shared with our students that they did have, someone to talk to?
Especially for the local event that took, the unfortunate events that took place last week, we didn't necessarily initiate directly with students, but we made sure that those who were informed about. So we were told the priority 1 are those who were there during the incident, right? Priority 2 are people who had direct connections with those who may have been involved. And then priority 3 are like all of our teachers and staff members who work with our children who might have been affected directly. And we learned who the priority, those who needed first priority, who were considered first priority and who needed those resources. And then we reached out to them to see if they needed it. And then the families as well.
How do we, thank you for sharing that. How do we manage recent events, right, of this week, and how that may have not only made our students feel, but also teachers or staff?
Yeah. I sent out a video. I also sent out emails. We communicated through social media. We communicated directly at the site level. And then through the email, the work emails and our parent square communication, all of the resources have been made available.
We also communicated, because of, the incident, we also communicated with the charter schools here as well to make sure that it was broadly shared to ensure the safety of all of.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that our students know that they have a resource or someone to talk to if they need to, and how they can ask for that help if they need it.
Absolutely. Not only are the mental health supports making themselves available, but our teachers and our staff members, classified staff members, are constantly checking in with the team, with the students. And I want to reiterate your point, Trustee Latu. Today, yes, we connected with the primary school, with EPAT's office staff, with the principal at KIP, to make sure that there was clear communication on what was going on specifically today. And then I reached out to Chief Liu.
Thank you. I know some of our schools have one entry point and some of them have various entry points. It just makes me wonder about like, how do we ensure that people who are not supposed to be on campus don't wander in?
Exactly. We have campus relations that supervise. Some schools are more easy, there's more permeable entrances, right? But everyone is to check in and they are to wear their safety tags, or their name tags. So I encourage even the trustees to use that as a test. When you go onto campus, make sure you're asked to sign in and asked to sign out. But anybody who is not an employee there needs to do that.
Right. So do we have staff designated walking around, making sure that, once again, there aren't people on campus that are not supposed to be there?
We have
Like, how do we do the rounds to ensure that, because sometimes it happens, someone's taking care of something in the office, like, do we have staff that are designated to walk the campuses? So we can share how we ensure that no one is on campus that shouldn't be. So can you
Yeah.
just share that out?
And actually, an incident happened with middle school where even management gets a little comfortable and we bring folks on campus to visit, to do siting, to view the site. And we need to be more explicit about how we want to execute that, because we were directed by the site admin that, look, this is great and all, but they need to follow this protocol. So we have site administrators who are well informed about the process, and we have campus relations and school support staff who are site supervisors and supervise students during play and during transitions.
This is just a comment and I just want, the other trustees to consider this, but I think we should all think about the possibility of creating a public safety subcommittee or a possible group. And I say that just because I think that, we had asked the city during our joint meeting this Monday about, public safety measures, and I just feel like we can't sit back and have an expectation that other people are going to ensure the safety of our kids. So I just want us to think, and feel free to, bring this forward to the superintendent on the possibility of creating a group so that we can ensure that all of our sites moving forward are safe and that our measures are constantly being evaluated throughout the year.
And I want to reassure the board here that the school sites do emergency drills. We don't practice the lockdown or secure campus because that is traumatizing, right? But all the staff drill the lockdown and secure campus. And so they are the ones that are informed about what to do. But to practice barricading the walls and things of that sort.
Yeah, no, I think my thought with that is does the interim chief know what the policy is if this were to happen at a school site? Does our newer,
Well, through the chair, Superintendent Suarez, I know that when I was teaching at Bellhaven, we did do all 5 drills from the county, including lockdown intruder drills. So
Maybe
I
they're
don't know
not
if that has
current.
changed.
It has changed.
Okay, because I remember it was done then and it was effective at teaching the kids what to do in case. But I can understand not wanting to do it because of the trauma, especially for the younger grades.
So the adults do know. And then to your statement, Trustee Latu, I think that's also what we want to try to make sure is during that meeting on June 7th, do all the police chiefs know the language that the county schools use under the Big Five, right? And that is something that the principals had an opportunity to have that touch point in communication with the officers that came to the site.
I just don't want anything to happen and we're playing catch up, right? We have a lot of transitions and switches within our chief of police, and so I just want to ensure that this isn't something that's like a thing.
But that is it.
Wonderful. Do we have any questions or comments about the superintendent's report? Okay, moving on to item number 9, which is the consideration to approve the tentative agreement between RCSD and the California School Employees Association and its chapter 303 for 2021 and 21-22 contract reopeners.
Thank you, President Maloney. So the tentative agreement provides a 7.5% increase to the 1920 salary schedule effective July 1, 2021. A 2.5% cash payment for current active education effort, and that will be based on the 21-22 rate of pay. The adoption of a new 18-month salary schedule. The upward adjustment of positions that were not in the top third of the county. The addition of vision coverage. The adoption of new leadership pay opportunities. And the possibility for an additional 1 month salary advancement.
Wonderful. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
Through the chair, just one, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you to staff. Thank you to CSEA. Glad that we're able to reach this point. And I'm really happy that we were able to do it together and come to a consensus. So for item number 9, I will entertain a motion.
For the chair, I'll make a motion to approve item.
Thank you.
I will second. I will second.
No. Never mind. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. Now moving on to item number 10, which is the consideration to approve job description for data and assessment coordinator. Do we have any questions or comments regarding item 10? As I see none, I will entertain a motion for item number 10.
I'll make a motion to approve item 10 through the chair.
Thank you.
I will second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. Moving on to item number 11, which is consideration to approve the proclamation resolution number 21/22-27, recognizing June 22 as Pride Month in the Ravenswood School District. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve proclamation resolution number 2021-2022-27, recognizing June 2022 as LGBTQ+ History Month.
Thank you.
And now I read it, yes.
Yep. I'll second.
Proclamation resolution number 2021-2022-27. Whereas the Ravenswood City School District has a diverse lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community and is committed to supporting visibility, dignity, and equity for all people in the community. And whereas many of the residents, students, family members, and school personnel are part of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning community who contribute greatly to the enrichments of our schools. And whereas although various advancements have been made with respect to equitable treatment of LGBTQ+ persons throughout the nation, LGBTQ+ persons still face discrimination simply for being who they are, thus making it important for districts like the Ravenswood City School District to stand up and show support for our students and families who are affected. And whereas many cities across the United States recognize and celebrate June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month, and whereas June has become a symbolic month in which LGBTQ+ persons and allies come together in various celebrations of Pride to support the community's right to live their lives out loud, and whereas the rainbow flag, also known as LGBTQ+ Pride Flag or the Gay Pride Flag, Progress Pride Flag, has been used since the 1970s as a symbol of the LGBTQ+ pride and social movements. And whereas flying the rainbow flag at the district office throughout the month of June further symbolizes the district's celebration of diversity and support for the LGBTQ+ families, students, and our school community. Now, therefore, the Ravenswood City School District does hereby declare the month of June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month in our schools and invites everyone to reflect on ways we all can live and work together with a commitment to mutual respect and understanding. And furthermore, our CSD recognizes Pride Month by flying the flag at the district office and all the school sites during the month of June 2022.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. And for the minutes, just to clarify, people we don't have stepped out for votes 9, 10, and 11. Now moving on to item number 12, which is board reports. Do we have any board?
One board report very quickly, at Bellhaven School last week, Teacher Paige yet again had another wonderful math night involving chickens. And the other two fourth grade teachers joined in, and it was great fun was had by all. Thank you very much for doing that for our kids and bringing math into their everyday life.
Through the chair, I was able to attend Castaño's AAPI and BAPA showcase night. It was amazing. It was really fun. It was great to be there with the community and to see all of our kids and families together. It was really hard because I don't want to make light of what has happened in our country and even in locally in the last 2 weeks. I think that all of us are dealing with a lot of stuff. So I think that, as we said before, Ravenswood has a lot of resources available and has made that available to not just parents, but the community at large as well. So I want to encourage our community to check those resources out. I also want to say that that for everyone, the June ballot is due on June 7th. Thank you, June 7th. And that is before our next board meeting. So please make sure that you vote before or on June 7th. And our board does have a Measure I on the ballot. And there's lots of information out there in the world about Measure I. So please check those resources and please be sure to vote for all things that are on the ballot appropriately as you see fit. So I just wanted to say those things. And then again, I will be at the Bellhaven tour tomorrow as well. And I'm available to answer any other questions that people may have about our measure that is on the ballot then. Thank you.
Thank you. As I see no other comments, our next board meeting will be held on June 9, 2022 at 6:30 and open session will be at 7:15. I will adjourn the Ravenswood City School District Governing Board meeting at 7:15.